Wait, it's trying again. Hang on one second. Okay, it is working. Okay, so we're live on YouTube, live on Facebook, 3 platforms, and Zoom. Right on. We're going to get Grace Solaris up here in these exciting times, see what she's got to say. But let's allow people some time to come in. We'll put the intro on real quick. See you in a minute and 30 seconds. Johnson's in the house. All right, let's get Grace Solaris in here. Beloved sister, see what she's doing, see what's happening with her. Here we go. Ask to start video. Uh-oh. Your mic might be on mute. Let's see. Your microphone's not hooked up. It might be on another program if you were like on Instant Messenger or something before the show. You might have to go out and come back. Oh, there you go. You're on.
Oh, hey.
What's happening, beloved sister? What's going on over there? Isn't this exciting, exciting times?
Wow. Yes. Amazing times indeed. What to say, Todd? So much happening, ongoing upgrades, waves of energy coming in, light codes. It has just been amazing, you know, since last week, you know, since back,
since equinox.
And it's just like increasing, and it's just increasing. And I mean, the last days I really had, especially 2 days ago when we had these big storms. I mean, I posted about the hail that came down. I mean, I've never in my life tried to almost pass out, you know, and I've been on this path for a long time and, you know, been used to energies, channeling energies. And I just had this moment where I was just like, I've never known how it feels like to pass out, you know, when people tell me I almost passed out, I never tried it. But in that moment, it was like, in that moment, it was like all physical functions of the brain, of the body, everything just went blank. It was just, I was going to just, I had a towel in my hand and suddenly I didn't know where's the towel, where's my body, and I was like, in my brain, it was just like blank. And
wow.
and then I had this, and then I was totally dizzy, vertigo, and I was just like, what's up and what's down, and I was just like, I thought, you know, I had this feeling, you know, like I'm going to pass out now. And it was, and I mean, many of us have had these periods where these very, very high energies have been coming in, where we have this vertigo and dizziness and all this stuff. So that's not new in that way, but it was so massive that I've never felt anything. It was just like, wow, just nothing in compared with what we have experienced so far. So it's really, and the thing is, because what I also have felt is like these old structures are really lifting now. I mean, we have, it's like, so now it's just getting so much more powerful because all the distortions, it doesn't work anymore. So now we're really getting the pure energy coming in now. So it cannot be, it's like, it cannot be detoured or something. It's just coming pure down, you know. So
That equinox was something else, wasn't it?
yeah.
I had a huge soulgasm right when it came in.
Oh, great. A spontaneous one.
What's that?
A spontaneous one. That's what I mean. The ones that I mean, you don't do anything and it's just like, wow, out of the blue sort of thing. Yeah.
And the connection is so easy to get to now. It seems like it's like, you used to have to, 5 years ago, you'd have to sit down and calm your mind and turn off the chatter. And now you're just like, zip, you're right there.
Yeah. You're right there. You just click in and you're there, you know, and basically, so I mean, it's just like you are there all the time. Really, you really are. It's just a matter, if you disconnect, if you're no longer present, if you're no longer present, then you might believe, oh, kind of, I got out of it, or, you know, kind of, where is it? But it is there. It's just a matter of us really being present, meaning being fully in body, being fully grounded, being fully here, awake and alert, and just really being pure presence, really being an observer.
Yeah.
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 And when you do that, that's when you're no longer in the mind, you know, that wants to interfere, that wants to be in control, wants to be one step ahead, where you just, you know, acknowledge, you know, and just say, okay, I know I'm not in control, you know. So and then it's like this drop, it just falls into the ocean and it's just dissolves into one, and you become this pure consciousness. Yes. And when you're there, you know, it's all good. It is as it is.
Yeah.
So there's no need to, I want it like that, or all your preferences, your opinions, your ideas, you know, you're no longer attached to any ideas of how things are supposed to be, you know, about the world, about yourself. You're just pure neutrality. Yes. Doesn't mean that you don't have, you know, any opinions, but you're not attached to them. So whatever you thought 5 minutes ago or whatever, it's just like you're just flowing with what is, and you don't need to change what is in front of you. You can simply just be your neutral observer. You don't need things. You're not attached to nothing. There's no labels. So it's really a very lovely place to be in, because the same thing is also all projections that inevitably will be directed at you. It's just like they're just bouncing back, because you know, it's just your neutrality. There's no plus or minus. It's just like you are already. So there's, and as I said, there is no preferences. You have to think like that, and if you don't think like me, or if you have a different view or different opinion, it is as it is, and it's beautiful as it is. There's no need to change it, or there's no desire even to interact or interfere with what is. So it's really a blissful place to be, because you know, you can just hang loose, you know, and just enjoy it, and expand, and
That's right. As within, so without. So
the orgasms come, you know, because
I know they do.
because there's no,
it's
this
happening.
is the orgasm. It's our natural
It
state
is.
of being.
Yes.
It's when you exist we mobilize so much energy. I want it like this. I want, you know, subconsciously, I want it like this. I want it like this. So we bound all that energy to want things to be. But when we simply just let go, and just like, and every cell can just dance and jump and do whatever it wants, and everything is just spinning and dancing and merging. It's like a continuous love making, if you want, with
Yeah. Yes, it
with the
is.
universe. With the universe, it's a continuous love making, and so you shift that frequency where you just, you know, it really is, and then your kundalini can flow freely, and then this soulgasm is really just the natural state of being, you
Yeah.
know, and you don't have to do anything to get there, to be there, to achieve it. I mean, you can be in your own, it's not, you know,
Yeah.
you don't need a partner or something, you know, you can just, I mean, I've had several of them also years back where, I mean, I just sit there, you know, I don't think about anything, and then suddenly I'm just like totally in. That's, you know, and didn't have any thoughts. Maybe it just happens
Yeah.
naturally.
Yeah.
We just totally in that surrendering space, and we become one with it. As I said, when the drop just drops in, and it just dissolves into the ocean, into this
You
presence.
know, yeah, and more people are experiencing it too. You know what I find intriguing is the whole masculine, feminine, you know, we're talking energetic here. Of course, it has physical representations, but the whole masculine, feminine thing that's been going on, I can go back to like 2015, right? When I met Morgan. And everything seemed to be paralleling. You know, she's been in the background. That energy's been the womb containing it all, and in the physical she was suppressed, and now it seems like it's shifting. And one of the things I noticed the last 2 years uh, was at Easter always seemed to bring some kind of level up for the feminine and masculine in, you know, with the resurrection frequency. And then
Yeah,
Morgan's kind of been talking about it the last couple of days. I know she's going to write about it. So I won't go into it too deep, but I saw, you know, I talked to her about what's happening in that, you know, in that part of this transition. And then I saw a couple of posts, and one of the posts I saw was yours. I think it was yesterday, and it was talking about the cluster of the moon. Let's see, the moon and Venus and Pleiades and Aldebaran. And I don't know if that was yours or somebody else's, but
it
you
wasn't my
said that the Pleiadian feminine was coming back, or I don't know how you put it, but how whatever you said pretty much fell in line with what I was hearing and seeing.
yeah.
What was that
Uh,
about?
uh, but I can just say for today, it's just like I had a session with someone, and Mary Magdalene just came massive in, and she had just been overlighting me the whole day. And I then saw in the meditation that I did later that really like Jeshua and Mary Magdalene, they are literally overlighting the earth now. I can really see them. They're just massively just holding us now, and just pouring this energy in the unification, you know, the cosmic Christ. That's what I call it, when this united divine union of the masculine and feminine Christ.
Yeah,
It's really pouring massively in. So they are really holding the whole planet now, or every one of us. So they're really kind of hoovering here and just massively pouring in this Christ energy. So it's really, really present now.
yeah.
Uh,
And
so
it's
and
so
available.
interesting. It's so interesting to talk to like you and Sandra Walter and just different people in the job I do, and the way they receive the information. And it's all like getting closer and closer in the way it's explained, but energetically, you know, because it's kind of a metaphoric thing. Everybody gets it their own way. You know, what is that? Is that consciousness? Is that energy? Yeshua and Magdalene. I mean, too many people are talking about it. Is it them as entities? I mean, are they energy complexes? It doesn't even matter. I think the important thing that matters is that it's actually happening all over the world, that and other, say, essences or star family influences or whatever, but the intel is lining up. And this to me is like that divine union energy happening on a collective level because enough's been done on an individual level. So
Yeah.
this happened, this is all happening around the equinox. And we had on the night, which was really the morning of the equinox, like 1 o'clock in the morning, I believe, or maybe it was that night. And we were shown the grid, and the 144 had done enough work on an individual level to all hit this certain point, which
Yeah.
you know, just reeks of divine union, balance, sacred marriage, whatever you want to call it. That energy coming, you know, coming into more balance. We also got that it was that the golden child was conceived in that moment, that
Yeah.
occurred, and that it would birth winter solstice of 2020. And so if I look at that energetically, one, the false masculine will continue to crumble, like all these institutions, things are crumbling. But two, she, being the energetic divine feminine energy, which is going to have to be represented in the physical for the most part by women, you know,
Yeah.
is gonna emerge even more. And to me, that's what your post was talking about the Pleiadians. Did you get that through a
Yeah, but it was
channel?
my post. It was my post. I
Oh,
don't know,
it
and I
was.
see the post. It was my post, so I cannot refer to that. I don't know. But what I'm also was shown today is just like, you know, Gaia has already, you know, moved into 5D. Now it's just for us. We're really passing through the eye of the needle now. So it's really, and it's for, and you cannot do that without being in total union with the divine feminine and masculine, which has to happen within all of us. And for that to happen, we need to leave the luggage. That means we need to leave this whole story, you know, our story for this incarnation. You know, we basically need to unite all fractions, all aspects of ourselves, and to achieve that divine union within. And then we come into that neutrality, and that's when, you know, when this drop comes, it's really like passing through that eye of the needle. You can't do that if you are if you hold on to all these old stories, these old labels and all this stuff. You have to come into this neutrality. You have to come into divine union to really pass through that. And that's when you, and that's the energy you got right here now, when we're moving towards Easter now. And it's this resurrection energy, you know, when we just unite into one, into divine union, and all polarities unite within us. So really, Gaia, you can say she's already, you know, through. Now it's just for each one of us. I mean, some are already, but you know, to leave that old timeline and all of the old stories, the old identity and all that, really to move in there, come empty, and you can pass through its transition. Yes.
Do you think
And then
that
see,
okay. I was going to
yeah.
say, do you think that part of that is, I think this is what you're, part of what you're saying. Do you think that part of that is on an individual level, once and for all, dropping all prejudices, all, you know, all blame to the opposite sex, that type of thing?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And because that's all connected to the, so it's not only leaving your individual story, also the collective story, you know, and the collective story is, you know, where we had these thousands of years of the patriarchal, you know, the divine feminine being submissive, and because she had to be submissive, there was so much anger towards the divine masculine. And you need to transcend that story. You need to make that peace within. And that's something we all have to make peace within those different fragments ourselves, the different aspects ourselves that have had these experiences. So that's some inner work that each of us have to do. And I mean, I mean, most people have worked on it. I mean, in the light worker community, of course, those that, you know, you'll have to do that at some point, sooner or later anyway, because it can be a more, what should I say, fluent, gliding, what you say, ongoing process, you know, but it can also be more abrupt and more extreme, you know, that if you resist it a lot and with all those energies coming in, everything just comes up, you know. So whether you know, it's not a matter, before you could maybe see, okay, I don't want to deal with it, you turned your back. That's what we did, you know, we just turned our back. I don't want to look at that. We repressed stuff, we rejected aspects of ourselves that wasn't, you know, very nice, shadow aspects and all that, but you know, we can no longer do that. It's just like, it's not possible, because the light is just so strong, it will be reflected back to us, but thank God to that. So but it's just, you know, a much easier process if we surrender and just, you know, allow and just trust, you know, because it's the fear that comes up. Oh, I don't want to look at that. You don't know what it is, but, and that's the thing, it's the unknowing about, you don't know what it is, something coming from the subconscious, and comes some feeling up, some emotions, whatever, and you don't know exactly what it is, you know, because it has been so repressed. So it's often that fear of the unknown, you know. So it's really being on a discovery about, you know, hey, what's there, you know, and then really having a look at it and just, you know, allow, and just to know, you know, looking at oneself without, you know, going beyond judgment also about yourself. And that's why we judge everyone else. It's because we simply haven't come into this acceptance of our own shadows, and we're still pinpointing on others, and there has been a lot of it lately. You know, if you don't have my opinion, then I withdraw my love. It's not okay. Then you start to be nasty.
Man. What's this with the?
There has been a lot of it, and just like, and Mary Magdalene, she was a bit chatting around with me today, and she just said, you people, you know, it's just like, just because someone don't share your opinion or have a different view, why do you have to judge them? You know, you can still love them. It's okay. You know, they are where they are, and it's okay. Why do you have to start getting nasty? Why do you have? It's like you want them to think like you. You can't. It's being a non-acceptance, and you're just so attached that things has to be like you want it to be.
You think you think you're balanced, and you try to prove you're balanced by trying to balance somebody else when you're not balanced. Right? Do you think it has something to do? I mean, I guess as another way to look at it, is it like the wounded healer being triggered?
Yeah, absolutely, because it is wounds in oneself, where one hasn't come to aspects of oneself that doesn't that are not integrated, that has been repressed or not loved. Maybe you haven't been seen, you haven't been heard, you haven't been acknowledged, whatever, and your opinions didn't value, or whatever it is. These are the aspects. So and then the ego just comes up, you know, and I want it like this. So it's really the anger that often comes up with it. It's really, this anger is really a deep wound of pain, of not being hurt, of not being heard, of not being validated. And so it feels very uncomfortable, and then you want the threat to go away, so to say. So you want to change the other one. You want them to think like you. It's a way to try to eliminate the pain, really. You don't want to eliminate the person, really, but you want to eliminate that pain in yourself.
It's a little shocking. It's a little shocking seeing some of these posts, and I didn't even think about it till you said something, but there has been like an uptick in the posts, like, hey, if you don't agree with me on this or that, you can leave my page. And I'm like, what? We're in the middle of But you know, to me, there's like three primary focuses. One, you can focus on the negative charge. You know, I'll just call fear-based programming. Two, you can focus on the savior-based programming. Okay.
Yeah.
And I won't mention anything specific. Or three, which most of the people that I'm surrounded with and talking to at the end of the day, you know, Romeo Barron yesterday, Sandra the day before, yeah, I mean, is continuing to do the work, continuing to bring a greater alignment within yourself.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, you know what? There's not even any time for anything else, really.
No, exactly. And that's also, I mean, it's fantastic now at the moment, and I just love it because I see it a lot around, and that's also why it's really getting so accelerating. You know, it's like the light is just pouring in, the shadows are coming up, you know, everything that hasn't been, that needs to be addressed, that needs to be seen and felt and heard, it's coming up now. And the thing is, people cannot abstract themselves because they used to abstract themselves through work, through, you know, maybe whatever way they are abstracting themselves. You know, we are quarantined, we're at home, you know, so, you know, you have to deal with stuff now, you know, you have to deal with it. And I know so many that they may be overworked, or maybe then they go to this, they go do that, they have a lot of activities, you know, kind of extracting themselves, so they don't are forced to feel in and to really be with what is. But if you cannot abstract yourself, and you're taking out of your program, you're taking out of your thing, so you cannot, also you cannot plan everything, anything,
No.
because at the moment you cannot even, you can hardly think until what is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's really just we are forced to being in the moment, being present with what is, which is really healthy, which is really good.
I know, it's exciting. It's like everything that's it's like everything that's happening is actually supporting 5D initiatives like telepathy. Okay. If the internet goes out, solitude, self-introspection, you know, dealing with those shadows that you're talking about, getting out in nature, not going to work, getting out of the routine. They all seem to be feeding, you know, the 5D frequency, basically.
Yeah. So I think it's just a fantastic opportunity right now. And so you can see it multi-layered of what's going on now. It's like worlds within worlds. There's so many layers to it. There's so much happening at the same time, you know, globally, collectively, individually. But it's really, you know, a great purge. Yeah, a great purge. It's also great awakening, and it's a rebirth of humanity. It really is, and true resurrection, really. So I mean, it's really a gift now. So and I mean, there are so many, you know, posts about what's going on right now. You know, depending how informed you are and who you listen to, there are many different versions. Then, but what I have noticed lately is like there was a lot of this fear energy. I feel it's just reducing and reducing, and there's more and more people that are really starting to detach from you know, this programming of the media. They are starting to look through, they starting, you know, because I've been wondering what it's like. People are just like, they have put the brain away, like you, it's like you can't even put 1 + 1 together, and you don't question things. Yeah, but I mean, as a collective, okay? And I just think it's amazing, but it's just like, it's starting to change now things. People start to question, oh, what's really going on? You know, start to question the media, and you can see it reflected in the postings, you know. and those, so suddenly now also vaccines are available and all that. I mean, I wouldn't take them. You know, if I should get this stuff, I would no way neither test me nor go to the hospital. I'll keep right away and deal with it myself, because there are plenty of things that you can do, unless it comes to the point where you really, I mean, so that you can't breathe. If it came to that point, but you should be you know, alert and awake enough to, okay, if there should be some signs, you know, that you can do. There are many things you can do to strengthen your immune system, to you know, pick it up before it gets to that point where you really need to go to hospital.
But you know, it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing as balancing or owning these aspects we see in others that we don't think we are. You know, and there's been too many shows on this program of people that have healed themselves, like cancer, like, you know, in like Ingrid Esme talking about how she loved the cancer and beat it, and David Manning 3 times, and there was a lady on the other day, Abby Flynn, Bradley's wife, and that's how she woke up. She was told she had cancer, and that lady Anita Morjani, whatever her name is, the one that's real famous. But so the bottom line is, the bottom line is we've been reprogramming our DNA consciously and not, through intuition, through conscious modalities. We've been doing a lot of stuff, working in the ethers, people like you, and so the people now, it's easier, it's accessible. We can do anything. We are in command of our body.
Exactly. And it's no joke, you know, that, you know, miracles are possible. And it's not, really, it sounds kind of stupid maybe, but it's no big deal. It's not like a complicated thing or something, you know. On the contrary, it's just when we make things contrary, but when we really allow for this, our divinity, you know, the divine, the perfection, the divine intelligence of our body, it's just amazing, you know. And just step aside and don't corrupt it with your mind, you know. Trust in this perfection of the divinity of your body, how it was created, that everything can be healed, everything can be brought into balance, and just, you know, more like allowing it and validating it, you know, instead of, you know, going into the fear program, you know. And it is this fear death programming, you know, that, oh, now I got this, and now I, you know, it's just gonna, you know, from A to Z, so I'm born and I'm gonna die, and if I get ill, you know, and especially you get that one which has predicted, you know, you know, it's deadly, you know. No, it's not deadly. It can be deadly,
you know,
just like, and it's just being blown totally out of proportion. But that is a gift for us now to say, I'm not buying into it.
It's the most exciting
know?
thing that's ever happened to us.
And that's to step into divine sovereignty. That's really what it's about, to saying, okay, you know, I'm not buying into this collective story. I connect with my divine self, and I allow for the divine to heal me. I allow, you know, the divine intelligence of the body that can bring totally balance and health and rejuvenation and all this. Allow it to happen, instead of buying into a story which you know, many of us already know it's not true. But you have to embody it. You have to, you know, not feeding it on every level. You have to be very alert, be sure that you really don't give your energy to it on any level, so that you really vibrate this. And it's really being in that 0 point. Then you, when you are a divine sovereign, yes, you also become immune. You become immune because you're 0 point.
That's right.
You don't even attract those things. I don't say you don't have to, you know.
It's all energy based.
You don't over and kiss someone if you know they have whatever that could be. You don't do that, okay? But it's just like you could even do that if you were fully embodied. You could do it, you know.
Yeah.
And that's also, you saw that Jesus, he touched the lepers and all that, you know, because you know it's just in the mind. And if you're really embodying that pure consciousness, you don't. It cannot. It cannot.
It's
There's
not
no
real.
resonance. It's not
There's no
real.
healing.
Yeah.
There's no healing necessary at that level. And I think
There's no
another,
healing necessary.
right. And you know, another thing I think that we can't overlook, we got to remember, everything is ascending. Everything is ascending. Everything is ascending. And that includes our bodies. Our bodies are ascending, whether we're conscious of it or we have a close relationship and communicate with it or not. You know, last night when we connected, as we do every night, the first thing that happened to me, my lower back, like the tailbone, it like, and I was laying still, and it snapped, and it went like
Yeah.
it aligned, and I actually
Yes.
saw. I looked into my body, and I saw that there was a clear channel. There'd been a blockage around the
portal.
yes.
It's a star.
Yeah.
Tailbone is a star portal. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I guess
Wonderful.
what I'm saying is the information I got was that, you know, I had back problems for 12 years from 30 to 42, and then it gradually got better. But this was something else. Like I used to have it in the back of my lower neck, which a lot of people have. And 4 or 5 years ago, Mother Mary would come in and work on my neck and tell me that your neck is, you know, energetically it's blocking things. But like I can feel the flow in my spinal cord now. As of last night was kind of like the official moment that it was totally clear. So we got to remember our bodies are upgrading as well.
Yeah. Exactly. And then exactly when these energies are coming in, you know, and you're just intuitively, you just know how to move, and you can, you know, I've also had it several times, my body on its own accord
Yeah.
just start to do things, funny stretches or just some movement, you know, and things just click into place, you know. So that's really when we get out of the way and we just allow, we become, you know, divine intelligence, so everything can just happen naturally, you know,
Yeah.
without us having to figure out something,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And I think you really hit it on the head at the top of the show because you can, every moment is the same three options are presented. We can either be neutral, we can be negative or positive, and positive is not a good word and negative is not a bad word. It's just if I'm 1 degree positive or 1 degree negative, I'm 1 degree off of the 0 point. So we
Yes,
always have
exactly.
that. So like when we say, you know, like yesterday, a friend of mine sent me a message and I saw he was in fear. And I made a comment to Morgan, oh, he's in fear. And then I realized later, wait a minute, you have a fear about what you
Yeah,
think he's in fear about. It may not be as amplified as his fear, but you have this fear and you need to deal with it. Boom, it's gone. But
yeah,
like when we say people aren't listening to me, or those people are not awake, or those people are buying the false narrative, or it ain't about those people, you know,
yeah,
and it's that simple. It's like
yeah,
in a moment by moment basis. We have enough presence now that we can be present, and
yes,
being present is consciously choosing the 0 point.
yeah,
And
exactly.
that in itself brings perfect health. It brings youth. It brings
Yeah,
higher communications and understanding and wisdom. You know, it's just being, I guess, right? Being what we are.
yeah, it's just being what we are. And yeah, and it's really when you come into that pure divine union, and it's like you transcend the I and you become consciousness. So it's, you're just aligned with everything, you know. So in a way you are everything, you're pure source energy. So you're Jesus, you're Archangel Michael, you know, you're the galactics, you know, you're all of the human self that you ever had. You are everything.
Yeah,
Yes. So that's basically nothing that you are not.
that's right.
That's a thing that you have to think about. When you really embody source energy, there is nothing that you are not. So it's not only about, oh, I'm love. You're everything.
Hey,
You're everything.
I
But you're
think
not
one of your
attached.
I think one of your friends is over here somewhere. There's something tall and white, about 8 feet tall, standing over here talking to me. And I don't normally say anything, but it's it's getting really loud. And so,
Okay.
is that you? Is that something you?
So
Is that part of your team or my team? I don't know what's going on.
is it a tall white one or?
Very tall, very white, angelic, very angelic. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you could just tune in and ask,
I'm
you
asking
know.
right now, and it's like blowing my ear up. So it's like blue, turning blue, like a light baby blue, uh,
Yes.
like gold in the eyes, orange around the mouth, orange around the mouth, where you speak from. A lot of golden particles, golden creation particles coming out of the mouth with a lot of heat and a lot of yellow and green, teal green, blues, pink,
Mm,
gold. I don't know what it means. It's good though. It's like a fountain.
yeah.
I pick up a lot of joy, a lot of joy,
Yes.
a lot of joy. Yeah.
One, wonderful.
Oh man, that's trippy. That was trippy.
But that's also, I mean, and that's what I felt lately. It's just like there is, we are just massively surrounded by so many beings, or rather, we have always been, but now it's just like it, it's much more tangible now. I mean, whether you, I mean, some see more, some feel more, but it's just like, it's crowded. you know
Yeah.
and you can, and I've heard that from many that have said, I haven't been able to really sense that so strongly before. Many are really feeling much stronger this connection, and can really feel that, maybe it had been more like a mind concept, or sometimes they could feel something, but now they are really tangibly feeling, that that we are really surrounded by
Yeah.
so many angelics and galactics, our whole family of light that are here with us now. We are really, it's really crowded here now, so
It
that
is crowded, man.
really,
Yeah, we had two
yes,
nights in a yeah, we had 2 nights in a row, like 3 or 4 nights ago, and the room just filled, like literally elbow to elbow. Last night
yeah,
we watched a movie, Ad Astra, which I would recommend that movie. It was like
that's
perfect for the masculine thing that's happening right now. Like
yeah,
owning the shadow of the masculine, owning all the things that we were damned for, because that's part of it. The shadow's part of it. It's just as much a part of it as the light. But anyway, so at 10 minutes to 3, we did our normal connection. It set me off. I'm starting to watch all these movies of my life in
yeah,
times that I didn't appreciate how much I'd achieved or how successful or powerful I was in that moment, right? Going back to like a little kid. So I went outside at 3 a.m. So 3 a.m., 3:30, and I'm trying to like watch this David Wilcock thing because I would really want to just get tired and go to sleep. And I start hearing this noise. I try to do it. It's like a digital it's almost like a digital bird. And it was like going
yeah,
and 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 I look up and I look in the tree and I'm like, what was that? And so I go
yeah,
back and it does it again. And like every time it was in my thoughts, basically. So I
yeah,
knew that I knew then. I was like, okay, well, is this telepathic? So I look over there. I said, who are you? And I can't remember all the conversation now, but it was a, it was again, it was a kind of a light green, you know, uh, a light green uh, being, a star family being, and it was probably about 5'9", 5'10", with a really big head, small body. And I don't
yeah,
remember, I can't remember all the conversation, but it was not very long. but it was what you're saying. It's like, we're right here. We're right here. You know,
Yeah.
we're closer. We're closer. We're closer.
It's really, yeah, they really want us to feel now, really feel that, know that you're here. And I had some situations lately also where I thought, what's going on? All this judgment and stuff. I mean, and even then being judged, like kind of defending and I wasn't even defending myself, not only judged and then being the judge of defending myself, which I was not at all. I know when my body goes into judgment, you can feel it, you can't pretend you don't know it, if it's there, it's there, right?
Yeah.
And I could just feel like I was just, they were just around me and just kind of just transmuting immediately. It was just all transmuted, and I could also, I didn't go into resonance, but it was just like I could just feel the support, just do your thing, just do your thing, we're here, we're supporting you, just follow your heart, speak up, be your truth, be your truth. And that's so important for us now to really speak up, become visible, become, speaking up, because I feel it also that there are, and I get many messages from people right now that say, I really love what you posted and I like what they don't dare to go out publicly to show themselves and to take a stand.
Yeah.
And this is this very, very old fear of, I could be punished. What may others think, so even within the spiritual community, people that you really think, they are really in the divine sovereign and so on, but they don't show their true colors. They are kind of just playing maybe love and this and all, and then it's just like and they don't want to kind of just show their true colors and take a stand. And that is needed that we do that, because if we cannot do that, there is obviously something that needs to be healed
Within
so
ourselves.
that we enough. Yeah, within ourselves. So
it's, what I think it is? I think it's the suppression, the suppression of the frequency of the divine feminine, of the mother goddess, the mother energy in all of us. I think that's why there was 85% women 5-6 years ago in these communities, and 80% of the speakers were men. I mean, because we obviously were still operating from, because that was our role. It was okay for a man to get out in public and show his ass or whatever. But I think that's a big part of it. But if you think about it, the shadow thing. So like we had quite a few people on in the last week, and the conversations always seem to kind of mold together. So there was a talk about the feminine coming back in a different way, like he'd risen and now she was going to another level. And somebody that was on here put it best. And she said, now she was talking about the divine feminine frequency, energetic. And she said that now it's not so much about militancy or, now she just knows she can be her. She can be me. She doesn't have to worry about it. She can just be herself. And I was like, oh, wow, that's it. Because what you're talking about and what's so effective that I've seen over the years doing the work I do is when people get on and just speak their truth. And it could be about anything, but something makes the chills come to you and you're like, wow, they're like, really getting real right now. And I think that's what it is. If we do enough if we get our shadows in front of us and start to really accept them and honor them like we do the light, then what happens is we're okay with being ourselves. Like we're okay with just being ourselves, and there's so much power in that. That's that
we don't have to fit into some archetypal something that have been projected on us. And again, it's also, the divine feminine. I mean, yes, it is the mother energy, but it's also a warrioress. It's also Kali, it's Pele,
Oh yeah. No, I've dealt with her. I've dealt with her personally. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So that's also, I mean, the divine feminine is not just being beautiful and nice and lovely and gentle and pure. It's very powerful. Mary Magdalene, come on. Wow.
Man,
Big power.
I've been
Ooh,
in
you
a
don't
lot of,
mess,
I've
you
been in a lot
don't
of,
mess with her. You don't
yeah, I
mess with,
know.
and
What are you
you know,
talking about?
we don't need the divine masculine to protect us. But
No.
it's lovely to have that support. Of
Yeah.
course, there needs to be a balance, and we need to embrace all aspects of ourselves,
Yeah.
but not because of lack, but because it's different aspects of ourselves. And when they come into union, they just become the perfect blend, so that everything can come into balance. Yes. So, and then we can just be, and we don't have to fit into something, and so we don't have to censor ourselves or
Yeah.
to fit into some, as I said, some image or some archetypal something. We can simply just be in our soul's signature, our soul's expression,
Yeah.
as who we are, without having to censor it or adjust it or something, and that's the beauty, that diversity, that uniqueness, your individual fragrance,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you
So
add.
I was getting that last night when we laid down last night, because it was all the same frequency that we're talking about. And so after the back cracking thing, and then I was watching all that, and then this whole thing started to come to me, and it was about this feminine part of us all that was coming out. What did that look like? And it was all those things you described. And then at a human level, because of course things are being shown to me, on my own level, but there's a reflection in the collective. So that's how I guess it gets explained. So one of the things that came was, it was like, you've done some work here, like you've expanded, and let me show you a way that you've done that. And it was like showing me that you allow her to be her. You allow,
Yeah,
and in this case Morgan, you allow Morgan to be herself in all her different states. You've gotten to a point where you allow all that. I thought, oh wow, that's it. That's what that lady was saying last week on the show, that now she can just be herself, and she can actually be herself because she knows that the universal energy is strong enough now in the realm that she's protected, she's clear,
yeah,
she's being nurtured. And yeah, this is a big deal. I think it's a big deal.
yeah. And really allowing someone to just be themselves, isn't that just the highest expression of love that you can show someone?
Hmm. Yeah.
Just allowing them to be themselves is just pure unconditional love, to just let the other one be,
Yeah.
that's really,
Yeah.
wow,
And
that's really true.
it's interesting too, because this whole dance, and it makes sense because the feminine energy was suppressed, the masculine energy was overpowered or falsely empowered. So that move had to be made from the mother frequency. It had to be made, and that's all documented on social media in these circles going back a few years. But
Yeah,
now that this thing's kind of happening, it's like he's going to step into his true power. Like,
yeah,
he's always going first because she's closer to it, women's intuition and all that. And now, and that's gonna, maybe that's what's gonna be what's gonna coincide with Easter weekend. This resurrection, like that energy of the feminine and masculine seems to have kind of like climaxed the Easter of the last 2 years, at least in my own
yeah,
experience.
yeah, yes, yeah, and that's also what you're seeing now. That, I mean, I was shown today that Joshua and Mary Magdalene, uh, they are just here. They are so present, just holding this energy for us to help us to really come into this divine balance between the two. They are holding the blueprint,
Yeah.
of the divine, of the masculine and the feminine Christ for us to really embrace it within and surrender to that, and just allowing it to be, and allowing them to merge into one, so we can just be in this sacred union. Yeah. And this is really, you know, nothing more than really accepting all these aspects of yourself and just allowing them to be, you know. Don't do. And you know, that starts with ourselves, and then we start to mess with others because we are still messing out with ourselves, you know. So just stop it and just saying, okay, I'm enough, I'm exactly as I need to be, it's okay. And then all this stuff will fall away. So what we thought earlier, maybe I don't like this, I don't like that, suddenly it has no power over you anymore. It has not any what should I say, it doesn't matter anymore, because it's getting transcended, so that it doesn't play a role anymore. And it turns into neutrality, where we don't have that need to judge either oneself or others. Yes. And that, oh, there was a big flash there around you just now.
Whatever. I don't know. I'm burning up and I'm sweating like a dog. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. Before we head out here, do you want to do something? Or you want to disappear again like you did the first time? You look good, Grace.
You know,
you look very good today.
Because Mary Magdalene and Jeshua are here, which they are right now. I mean, I would just suggest we will just take some minutes to just allow them to just overlight every one of us as we join into this group Merkaba together, and just allowing for this resurrection energy to pour through. Just, you know, just allowing for 5-10 minutes, whatever, and just getting that energy through. So you know, that's their gift of love today. And I actually also did it earlier. I did a very small emanation from Mary Magdalene, where I also got pretty lit up, but it's for her to decide. So let's just, you know, center ourselves and just be open and just receive the emanation of light from Jeshua and Mary Magdalene. Yes, so come to peace with ourselves. That's what's so important. Come to peace with ourselves. Come to peace with every aspect of ourselves. Stop judging ourselves and just allowing ourselves to be. That's really where we need to be now. And that's when, we become the sovereign, where we just are in full acceptance of who we are, Don't have to fit into some program, to some expectations or anything. It's just all embraced and allowed and permitted and welcomed, So yes, we are in for a very big resurrection collectively and individually right now. So yeah, I'm totally excited for every one of us. And yeah, let's see what's gonna happen. There's so many things predicted for these next days, including blackouts and all sorts.
Yeah. That's the thing.
So
That's the thing. No matter what narrative our human aspect attaches to, it's not going to change the one true narrative. We're all
exactly.
we're all in this thing. I don't know if anybody else saw how the light kept flickering back and forth when she was doing that. I thought you were going to take off again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you weren't moving, and yeah, there it goes again. So I'm not going to say anything. You can watch it and see. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I saw it today also in the video I posted earlier today. Totally, and it was actually at a point I sat at so in the start, and when I then kind of opened it, was like just like a curtain went up, and then
Yeah.
I totally went white.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this yeah, so it's very interesting time now. Really important now to just being balanced, being the neutral witness. That's
Yeah.
what I really wish for everyone. If you can be the neutral witness, just observing, because there's no way that we can interfere what with is going on right now.
No.
And the best way for us to stay in our divine unity, in our divine sovereignty, just being focused in our heart, and
Yeah.
just really being pure consciousness, just observing, and don't trying to want certain outcomes,
Yeah.
or, or expecting anything. Just be totally clear in neutrality,
Yeah.
and just allowing, and just witness this beautiful cosmic show, that this amazing time that we have been waiting for. In what perfection it will just roll over the stage, whatever's gonna happen, it's to our highest good. And always remember that
Yeah.
there's no one out there to get you. There's no enemy, neither corona nor anyone, and if we can truly embody that consciousness, then that is our reality,
We're doing it. We're
and then
doing it.
it's really like there is only love.
That's
There
right.
is only yeah.
We're
So
doing it.
yeah,
We're making this
we
shift happen.
we can do this, and
This
we
shift's
prepare.
going down.
Yeah,
I had enough of the old shift. We got the new shift now. It's going down. I love you,
yes,
Grace. Thank you.
yeah. I love you too, Tom.
Love you, everybody.
And
Y'all
my
hang in
love
there.
to all of you.
Hey,
Thank you
Grace,
so much. Thank you.
Grace, you have anything coming up you want to announce? You have anything? You have any?
Yes, I actually have on the 444 this amazing portal that coming up. There will be many global meditations on that day, because it will be a
Oh yeah,
very,
yeah.
very powerful
So it's going to be
portal.
the fourth month, the fourth day, and 2020 is a four. I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. It's 444, and I do have a global group activation of this angelic DNA, and it's a DNA. It's a debug. It's basically what's happening collectively. But we are really for those that resonate, that wants to you know, being part of the group energy. The Acturians and the Elohim, they will
Yeah.
be with us to make a total reset and anchoring in of a new RNA reset. So, because as they told me, the Acturians is they have been working on that old programming, so they have been kind of the messenger of false flag messengers, which I thought was so funny. And so it's really releasing that old death programming, because we are eternal beings.
Yeah.
That's we truly are.
Right
And
on.
then downloading this original, I heard also that Sandra spoke about it, this original divine angelic blueprint, the original stem cell genome, to really anchor it into our body. And first there will be a clearing and a debug, and then so whoever resonates with that are welcome on the 444. And it turns out that we have had up to over thousands participants, so it's a really powerful group energy. So everyone who resonates, you are welcome, and we can still do the global meditations. I'm certainly gonna tune in with there are many powerful groups. So yeah, so see you all there on.
Right on. We'll see you on the screen, in the flesh, and in the ethers.
Yes. Looking forward to see it. My love to all of you. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here with us. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.